In world football, the biggest clubs in the world benefit from the consistent income of playing at the highest level, whether that is in the EPL, La Liga, Liga 1, or so on, and are rewarded even more so with playing in continental competitions. For the vast majority of clubs, just getting to the top level of their pyramid is a feat, as their fans hope for survival in the top division. While for some clubs, getting promoted to the division above is usually followed with a somewhat rapid relegation to their old home. In England, or should I say the United Kingdom more broadly, these clubs are often referred to as yo-yo clubs. And in this video, I will explore the 3 most promoted and relegated clubs in English football. When I think about clubs that frequently move between divisions, a few come to mind right off the bat, as I think of Watford, Sunderland, Leicester City, and Cardiff, to name a few. While these clubs would certainly fall under the yo-yo club term during different eras of their existence, they were not in the top 3, although I will say they were on the list. I would also like to point out that the term yo-yo club is often viewed as a negative, and while I understand that relegation is hard and can be quite a sad experience for fans, but in order to be a yo-yo club, there are plenty of positive years to be remembered and plenty of potential championships in lower divisions. However, with all that being said, the 3rd most volatile club in terms of promotion and relegation is Birmingham City. In their history, Birmingham City has exactly the same amount of promotions as it does relegations, having been promoted a total of 15 times while also being relegated 15 times. Birmingham City were founded in 1875 as Small Health Alliance before being renamed to Birmingham City FC in 1943. In the 150-year history of the club, 30 years of movement really doesn't sound too bad. And in a way, it isn't, as there are moments of celebration in their story. However, to put it into perspective on how frequently they have moved around in their history, they really only have 2 prolonged stints in a division. Prior to the creation of the Premier League, Birmingham's longest period within the First Division was 18 years, from 1921 to 1939, and the second longest stint in a division was their championship stint from 2011 to 2024. Interestingly enough, after Birmingham's relegation from the championship in the 2023-2024 season, they went on to finish first in League One that season, and set the record with most points at 111. I feel like this is a pretty fitting representation of Birmingham City. Matching the 30 total promotion relegations of Birmingham City is Notts County. However, their 12 promotions versus 18 relegations is much more unfortunate than that of Birmingham and would certainly be a tiebreaker in my book, making them the 2nd highest movers in Britain. Notts County was founded in 1862, so being one of the oldest football clubs does not do them any favors in terms of probability, as they have had a lot more time to move both up and down divisions. However, in a similar vein to Birmingham, a lack of stability in any one division is the reason behind the movement, which in retrospect seems relatively obvious. It's actually quite impressive how consistently they have moved between divisions, as their longest stretches between moving divisions is around 9 years, and they very commonly move between divisions every 2 to 6 years. In their long history, Notts County has spent 30 total years in the top division. However, none of those years were in the Premier League, but instead in the old First Division. They have spent another 37 years in the 2nd tier, 31 in the 3rd, and 15 in the 4th. But perhaps the lowest point for Notts County was their relegation to the 5th tier for the first time in club history. This occurred in the 2018-19 season. The club would play in the National League until their promotion after the 2022-2023 season. And last but not least, the club that has had the highest total number of promotions and relegations in England is Grimsby Town. Grimsby Town was founded in 1878, so again, it's another old club with a ton of history, and that has consistently moved between divisions. There are 32 total promotions or relegations, 15 of which were promotions and 17 of which were relegations, has meant for a very turbulent history to say the least. From my point of view, the most surprising detail is the longest time spent in one division, which was only 8 years. And it was also from 1892 to 1901 when they were founding members of the 2nd Division. Most recently, the club has continued the up and down trend, as they were promoted from the National League in 2015-16, and after 5 seasons in League 2, were relegated right back down to the National League. However, in true yo-yo club fashion, was promoted via the playoffs from the National League in 2021-2022. They've been in the 4th tier ever since and have had a very respectable season last season, having 68 points and finishing 9th place. Obviously, if you're a fan of these clubs, stability is always wanted. However, I would argue that the ups and downs for promotion and relegation are perhaps the most exciting aspect of domestic football, especially as leagues are becoming ever more dominated by teams with bigger budgets and higher investment. And football, like any other sport, is in the entertainment industry, and I believe that these clubs provide just that, entertainment, and entertainment to a fan base that maybe won't get the Premier League title, but can sure have fun along their journey. Thanks for watching. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and if you did, please consider liking and subscribing. If you'd like to see me cover any one of these teams in more depth, let me know, as I'd really like to do any of them, but perhaps most notably Grimsby Town, as I found their history to be quite interesting, and there's some gaps in there that I'd really like to explore in more detail. But as always, have a good day.